Oh, that's what you want to see, Shane. That's a celebration.
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, we said before, 17 games unbeaten, up to 18 now, and to get a winner as well, definitely, it's fully deserved. I mean, Liverpool thinking getting themselves back, they've got a point, and they've got away, as Kenny said before the break, playing badly, got away with a point, but I think Palace deserved it. They were brilliant today, and again, this is...
Here it is, your long throw.
I talk about the long throws, and I don't shy away from it, but there's a couple of flick-ons here, and there's always action happens around the back post, you know, on, say, the first flick-on or the second flick-on, and of course... You know, Nketiah finds himself so free, so people get sucked towards the ball always. And then I think it's Hughes actually the flick, and then it comes off Gahey, and then obviously great touch from Eddie and a brilliant finish.
Oh, that's what I mean about the composure, having missed possibly an easier chance earlier on, Kenny.
It's great composure, and even to take it on his left side on, if he chests this onto his favoured right foot, for me, Frimpong actually gets a block. See Frimpong on his inside there, he knows that, so he opens his body up, he just chests it onto his left side. That gives him an extra split second to kind of set, but it's brilliant technique after that. Fantastic goal.
I think you're both saying they very much deserved it. I mean, second half maybe more of an even contest, but Palace were so good for the first half that really they're the rightful winners today.
Well, they probably couldn't keep up that Palace first half because their energy levels are so high. There's so many chances they created, but again, Liverpool didn't have the answers. They didn't want clinical enough in front of goal. They didn't create enough chances. Yes, Henderson had a couple of saves, but it's not the Liverpool of old. They're not clicking properly for whatever reason that is.
A few questions to answer ahead of Tuesday. Kenny, we're doing that game against Galatasaray. Liverpool have a bit of work to do. I mean, it's their first defeat of the season. Let's not go nuts here, but
absolutely no. But they need to. Arne Slot spoke about the team evolving with these new players who have come into the team in a positive sense. But we haven't quite seen it in terms of, you look underneath, in terms of the performances so far this season. Veers, that didn't work at all on the left hand side. First half, Salah again very quiet, taking care of from Tyreek Mitchell. Szoboszlai was playing right back centre half. Gravenberch went back to centre half at some point. That's not good signs.
All right, Kenny, we'll have to continue this conversation on Tuesday night because the rugby's coming right up, so we haven't got much talk time. We've got loads of time though. Join us 7 o'clock on Tuesday for Galatasaray.
Overall, it was a performance that deserved 3 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think in the first half we had multiple chances. I think obviously there's not many teams that can create that much against Liverpool, so credit to us. And I think it was thoroughly deserved the 3 points, so happy to be able to help and contribute.
What do you think the key was to creating so many chances against a team like Liverpool, as you say?
Yeah, I think we're just hard to play against. You know, we've got a nice, resilient group. Obviously, we work together, and obviously we've got threats and talent up front and in midfield, so we know we're going to hurt any team we play against. And today it all clicked for us, and thankfully we were able to get the 3 points.
And as you showed, although you don't want to be there, real strength off the bench as well today.
Yeah, of course. Obviously everyone's fighting for positions. We all want to play, we all want to contribute, so whether I get 5, 10, 15, 90, I'm always going to try and contribute and give the best to the team.
You're the last unbeaten team in the Premier League now. Do you feel you're onto something here? Do you feel there's something special happening this season?
Yeah, we're just going to take it one game at a time. Obviously, like I said, we've got a really good group. We achieved a lot last season and started really well this season, so we want to keep pushing and want to try and bring more success to this club for the fans.
Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
A reminder, Crystal Palace are 12 unbeaten in the Premier League for the first time in their history. But did you think when Chiesa, and after a big forensic views, goal stood, that Liverpool somehow were going to get something out of it?
Definitely. Definitely. We all know that Liverpool finish games very well. They have done this season, and they finished this game well. So a bitter pill to swallow conceding in injury time. They know how it feels to score in injury time. Now they know how it feels to concede. But it was a lovely ball in, this was. Just floated in. Mo Salah goes up, might flick his arm. That's what VAR were looking at. Hard to be conclusive, and he was getting pulled back at the time. Because it wasn't conclusive, I think they let it go, and Chiesa, as many times when you hit one in the corner, you tend to scuff it in there, but he's starting to make an impact off the bench, and definitely Liverpool would have thought that's at least our unbeaten run continuing, even if it was only 1 point, but Palace had other ideas.
Yeah, that's his second goal off the bench as a Premier League substitute this season. Talking of which, enter Eddie Nketiah. He's only ever scored 3 times in the Premier League in a Palace shirt. What a moment for him personally as well as the team this was.
Yeah, but we know how good this Crystal Palace team is on set pieces. Long throw. Can you win the first one? Can you get the flick? Can you win the second one? Will Hughes does brilliantly, and then Gahey wins that one, and it's a great finish. And that's what Nketiah said it there. They're hard to play against. They make it difficult. Look, you got to win these second balls. You win one there, and then you win that one. That little flick. He's onside, and Nketiah, great little chest and great finish.
Frimpong didn't know where he was. He got the wrong side of him. Do you know, in the lead up to it, Don Hutchison said in commentary, but Kirk has had an opportunity to not give that throw-in away. They shouldn't be given a set-piece in the last seconds of the game. Could have cleared it with his right foot. He lets it run across his body and then swings it out for a throw-in. really frustrating. It was avoidable, that goal, and Arne Slot won't be happy with that.
Yeah, pleased to report that Oliver Glasner's hamstring is absolutely fine as well.
He didn't know where he was going, did he?
After that celebration, no. He needed a sat-nav at the end of that. Liverpool, did they struggle physically at times defensively today for you?
Well, I don't know whether it was tiredness. Right? I mean, they rested a fair few players in midweek in the Carabao Cup.
Well, they weren't their
against
usual
Southampton.
selves, were they?
They weren't their usual selves, but whether you can blame it on tiredness or anything, we are early in the season. I mean, I'd be hesitant to blame it on that. I mean, Konate in the first half didn't know what he was doing. And I can't say that was because of rustiness or tiredness or anything else like that. We've seen one or two performances from him this season that have been quite similar. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use that excuse. I would definitely give praise to Crystal Palace. They're a proper team. They're not, I mean, you mentioned how many games they've gone unbeaten. They beat Liverpool, obviously, early in the season, the Community Shield. It wasn't a fluke. So I would be more inclined to say Palace played particularly well.
And probably Arsenal on the team flight or just arriving at the team hotel on Tyneside at the moment ahead of that game at Newcastle tomorrow. What a fillip that is for them.
But Steve, that's the best feeling. Do you when you see rivals lose on the way to the game tomorrow? So they'll be absolutely buzzing with that. And to be fair, Liverpool weren't at the best of it. Crystal Palace deserved to win that game.
OK, let's...
Premier League, you still got to go there and do a job. Even away at West Ham last week, they won 2-1. It's always difficult, especially a London derby. It's difficult. So I just think you've got to give credit where credit's due sometimes and say, you know, with the group of players, they've all bought into how the manager wants to play. They've got Mateta up front, who's a nuisance. They've got good movement from midfield, and that back three with Henderson behind them are solid. So take nothing away from Palace, but we're still top of the league.
Absolutely.
And you just got to look onwards and upwards.
Yeah, strangely, it's their first home Premier League win as well today of this season, because traditionally all last season and so far it's transpired before today, they've picked up more points away from Selhurst Park.
So impressive. You think how, yes, we were better in the second half and we created chances, but a lot were half chances, weren't they, really? And then we had like Ibu's header in the first half. Chiesa comes on. Wirtz, if he puts his chance away, changes the narrative of the game. But we didn't really pick them apart, and that's testament to how solid they are, which will hold them in good stead. They're such a good, well-organised team. Not many teams will pick anything up at Selhurst Park this season. Yeah,
credit where credit is due to Palace. Let's show you the match stats as they are, and you can make your minds up from this whether it was a deserved win for Palace or not. I mean, as we would come to expect from a Liverpool side, Nigel, dominating the possession there, but fairly equal in terms of shots. Palace having more shots on target. Liverpool's XG is lower than Palace's, but not by much. I mean, looking at that, you might think Liverpool were worthy of a draw.
Well, if you hadn't given that one away late on, you got back into the game to get 1-1. But sometimes stats lie for me. Possession, if you go 1-0 up, you sit back, take the pressure and then hit on the counter-attack, you're not going to get much possession. And it's all about how many goals you score in the end. It's not about possession and where you have that possession. If you're knocking it across your back four in your own half, it shouldn't count really. But you look at that in Liverpool, 20 shots, Palace 16. We had a lot of pressure. Some of them half chances, as Phil said, but only 4 shots on target of that 20, which probably isn't good enough to win a match.
Yeah, I can tell you, out of those 20 shots, Phil, 14 of those came in the second half for Liverpool. So it really does show that the difference and the contrast between those two halves.
It does, and you'd have to argue. It felt very much like Arne's first game against Ipswich last season. We were very poor in the first half, and then he probably gave them both barrels in the dressing room and they come out a different team. And I suspect that happened again today, because there needed to be a change. Yes, the personnel change, Gakpo coming on made a big difference. Chiesa, of course, coming on made a difference. But the attitude, I think, at times, go there. It's going to be tough. There are no easy games. That place is bouncing. It's noisy. It's very attritional there. It's hard. My family live around the corner, walking distance. We can hear them, you know what I mean, when I go around Sunday. So it's tough. We didn't find the polish we needed. We've got quality, star quality in that team. I'm talking big players. We needed Mo today. We probably needed a little bit more from Isak. He did tire mentally. There was some times when he made the wrong runs. There was times when he needed to be a little bit more dynamic when a couple of crosses came into the box. But that will come from Isak. But just wasn't good enough. And sometimes you have games like that. We had Nottingham Forest last season.
Yep.
Still won the league.
We did, indeed. Let's speak to someone who soaked it all in person. Ray Howson at Selhurst Park looks pretty quiet now, but I imagine it was bouncing by the end of that. What was your take on that whole game, really?
I thought it was a game of two halves, to be honest with you, Becky. I thought in the first half, Crystal Palace were excellent. I thought they'd done a number on Liverpool. They frustrated them, hit them on the counter-attack, had numerous chances in that first half to come in at half-time, probably 2 or 3-0 up. It was only down to some indifferent finishing from the Palace players, and I thought Alisson was the only player that stood up in that first half for Liverpool. I thought he was excellent. Then the second half, the game changed. Palace started to sit back. Liverpool started to get a grip on the game, created some chances, not golden opportunities, but put enough pressure on the Palace players, and they started to sit back. Then we got to 1-1, and you were looking at if anyone was going to win it, it looked like it was going to be Liverpool. But I talked before the game, Palace play for set plays, corners, free kicks, throw-ins, and we didn't defend 2 of them well enough today, and that led to the 2 goals. Over the course of the game, yeah, you could have said Liverpool probably could have got a draw from it, but with clear-cut chances, I thought Palace probably just about edged it.
Ray, overall, after this, you're still top of the league, will remain top of the league after the weekend. You just now learn from this experience away from home. You know, Selhurst Park is always a difficult place to go, move on, get a result at Galatasaray, and then look forward and say we need to go on an unbeaten run again. Is that your idea about it?
Yeah, very similar to losing to Nottingham Forest at home last season, because they'd done a similar number. You know, they came in frustrated, kept some of their better players. Hudson-Odoi didn't play, Elanga didn't play. They played more workman-like players, and they frustrated Liverpool. And then as the game wore on, they brought on more attacking players, which helped them to get the victory. But Palace, you know, unbeaten in the league this season, you've got to give them a lot of credit. The manager's got a really good understanding of how he wants his team to play. They've worked it really well. Liverpool have got to learn from the defeat today, what didn't go right in that first half, because once again, last week against Everton, first 30 minutes, absolutely brilliant, as good as I've seen Liverpool play this season. First half today looked well off the pace. Movement wasn't good, they looked a little bit ponderous, taking too many touches, you know, not moving the ball quickly enough. A few players actually looked jaded, some of them that didn't play in the midweek fixture against Southampton. We've got to get themselves ready, because we've got a couple of away games coming up against Galatasaray and obviously Chelsea next week